Where is the data that black men are marrying black women? You're making
No,
a lot
I
of
said the
statements without
data
data.
shows that you're the least to
No, but
get
you
married
also
of
just now
all the
said that you're not marrying
races.
black women. You just said that. So where is the
I'm
data?
telling you what I said.
No, but
Typically,
where's the data to support
I
what
will
you
pull it
just
up
said?
right now.
That
Hold
black men
on.
are not
You're
marrying
the
black
least
women.
likely to get married of all the races. That's what I
But
am
being the
saying.
least likely to, there's a difference between causation and correlation. Being the least likely to get married doesn't mean that you don't have a wife to get divorced by. It just means that you're the least likely to get married. But out of the ones that do get married, they still get divorced. So your argument's null
So
and void. It doesn't make sense.
out of the ones that get married, the small percentage of men that do actually marry women,
What do you mean? More than
I'm
60% of
saying
single
I'm
black men,
saying
of
I'm
black men get
saying
married.
that she asked me what my experience was anecdotally and also looking at the data, and I'm telling her that the data shows that black men are the least likely to get married of any race. So that brings down the percentage of me even seeing a wife come forward. That's the first thing.
In your opinion, do men cheat more or do women cheat more? DJ and Coco.
I think men cheat more, and I think men are more strategic in cheating, which is why I think the situation we're talking about as far as women strategizing to take money from men, I think men are notorious for strategizing and having multiple and double lies um, to get what they want out of women.
I'll take her answer, and then I had something to say after that. Sorry, Trey. DJ,
Okay.
what do you think, men or women?
Um, the data shows that men cheat more.
Okay.
Not by
So,
much,
okay.
but yeah.
So, do you see how we got a clear answer as to who's to blame for that? That's
Yes.
all I'm
There's
asking for the
data.
women. For the when the numbers are in our favor, when you're hearing the 98%, or when you're seeing all of this information, we're still not admitting that hey, it's a woman thing. We didn't say oh, it's situational. We didn't say it's a character flaw. We just said it was the men. Everybody's clear. That even the data, the stats, we got that all cleared out. But when it comes to the women, we never just say, you know what, it's the women for nothing. If
Where's the
if
okay, I don't have a problem conceding to logic, right? No problem. Where's the data supporting these assertions that we're making about women being estranged and being these morally horrific people?
My point
Where's
was
the
it was your
data?
You know the
opinion.
data's not there.
We were talking
Okay,
about your
that's
even
all
your
I'm
opinion.
saying.
You
We were
don't
talking
need
about
data
your
to prove something.
Hold on, hold
You
on. One
do.
mic, one mic, one
You
mic.
do to make a sweeping generalization, you do.
you
Now,
just made
if we're gonna say that these is our experiences, our opinion, fine. But to make a sweeping generalization across a whole sex, I would not do that with men unless I had data to support it. You will never see me do that. That is a generalization.
But it's also a
If
fact.
you're saying mostly these people this whole group of people tend to do this, and you have nothing to support that assertion,
Mostly women
but
wear
your
panties.
opinion,
That's a generalization that's
that is
also
a
a fact.
generalization. That is
Mostly
a
men have
generalization.
penises. Generalization that's also a
Hold on,
fact.
hold on, y'all. Marcus had a thought. He's been cut off a couple times. Go ahead.
Okay, if you say so.
I made the point. I was gonna say we're not saying all women do it. We just said when it's done, the majority of the time, anecdotal, and if you look at coincidental, it might not be causational, but the person that receives money at the end of a relationship will be women. So we would lean towards saying that, similar to the men would probably be the one to be cheating more. Like I don't see why we have a why it's such an issue to just admit those two things.
Because there's data to support that assertion.
They could have said it's inconclusive to say who does it the most instead of saying it's a character issue. I mean, that's all
There's
my
still no
thing.
data to support that either. Where is it? I've been waiting.
Is there? But there's no
Where
data to
is the
say that it's a
data?
character. Is there a data that said it's just a character issue?
No, I attributed it to a character issue because there's no data saying either. So I could technically say it's mostly men according to my experience, but I didn't do that either.
It sounds like
So
anytime you get an
you
opportunity
see
to
how I
reserve the
left
right to
it
You
in
just
the
made an
middle and I
assertion without
said I
data.
attributed it to a character issue because I understand that it's based on character. There's no data attributing it to men or to women. That's why I didn't lean either direction.
Do you just off your
Give me
personal
give me
experience,
examples of the media. What community? I told you a couple
just whatever
examples
you
in my
intake?
community, and I gave you media examples of men who, when they are positioned to be with a woman that is a breadwinner, they will take advantage of the situation. I gave you anecdotal
No,
situations
but
from
I'm
my
saying how
personal
often
life.
do you see it? I know you gave examples because we're not saying it don't happen. We're not saying it don't happen. We're not saying men don't do this. But how often do you see it when there is a man doing it? And how often, based on what you personally see and intake on a whatever basis, how often do
On
you
and
see?
on if I'm being honest, Di,
Hmm.
first of all, black men don't typically marry, so I don't see a lot
What?
of wives coming. They're the least likely
They
to
marry more than we
marry.
do.
Again, more
Where's the
data.
data?
I have the
Hold on.
data.
The
Would you
least
like me to
likely to
cite my
marry
source?
and
I'll show
amongst
y'all
amongst
I will
other.
show you a
Wait, let her
pinpoint.
finish
I
her
will
thought
show
because
you
I
a
want to
Hold on,
get
hold
back
on.
to
Too
my
many, too many
question.
a
mics. Too many mics.
PowerPoint on that one. Black men are the least likely to marry. So typically, I do not even see a scenario where a wife is even coming forward to begin with. Let's start there. Second thing is, no, I do not typically see when there is a marriage, an estranged wife comes forward. When there's an estranged wife, it's usually because those people have been separated for years and years, and I don't typically see a woman coming out the blue trying to take a man for everything he has, because a lot I what does he have? Let's be honest. I don't see a woman coming out of the blue and being like, I'm gonna take his estate. What estate? I'm entitled to insurance. What insurance?
But I wasn't
Like,
saying
I'm
So
that. That wasn't the
genuinely
question.
where's
confused.
the
I
data
do
That
that
not
wasn't the
see
supports
that
that?
question.
scenario. I'm
I
so
got some data for
So
sorry.
y'all.
so Ruth, you said
These
you had some
anecdotal
data on that
experiences that I've
because
had
you
from these
Ruth,
men that never.
you said that
Mhm.
black men marry more than black women. You have any data to support that?
I think it was like 30. I think it was like 38% of men are married and 34. It was something like that. They.
Cloud Jones
Let
is
me
I
looking
don't
it
bring
have
up
the
right
this.
exact.
now. I
I don't
could
have
tell
the
by the
exact number.
focus on his face. So
I don't have
we'll
the
have
exact.
this straightened out in just a second. Just make
They
sure
marry
it's
more
at
than we do.
.gov
Are
if you
they
could. You already know
wait,
how it go.
just specifically, are they talking about marriage and comparing between black men and black women who get married more or across other men? Because
Across other
if
men.
it's
So when they're
across
looking
other
at
men, then
races,
black men do get married the least.
yes.
But if
Yeah,
it's
but that doesn't
it's
mean
comparing
we
black men and black
Oh, but now
women,
that doesn't
then
mean.
we don't typically marry just because we don't marry as
No,
much
As
as
I
the
much
other
as the
said
group.
you're
others,
the
but we marry
least to
more than
get
black women
married.
do, though.
So
So
if we're conflating things, if we're
that's
playing
why
in
I
the
said clarify
conflation
the
game,
data.
we're saying, what I'm saying is, if you of all the races are the least likely to get married, there's no wife to come forward and take anything.
that doesn't make sense, because just
That
because
don't
you're
make
the
sense.
least likely to get
That
married
doesn't
doesn't
make
mean you're
sense.
not getting married. The ones who
I'm
are
applying
getting
your
married still get
logic.
divorces.
34%.
I'm applying your logic. The
34%.
logic you had
That's not
earlier was
logic.
that,
That's flawed
oh,
logic.
if a man makes more, a woman is more likely to come forward and be a morally corrupt, estranged wife and come and take his
That wasn't the
assets.
logic. You're
But what I'm
purposely skewing
saying
the
is,
argument.
if you're not even marrying black women, the statistics are showing typically y'all are just not getting married. Y'all are getting married the least of all the races. It's far less likely that when you pass away, that anybody's coming forward. There's no wife to come forward.
34%.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is
What
the
is that?
data that black men are
34%.
marrying black women? You're making
No,
a lot
I
of
said the
statements without
data
data.
shows that you're the least to
No, but
get
you
married
also
of
just now
all the
said that you're not marrying
races.
black women. You just said that. So where is the
I'm
data?
telling you what I said.
No, but
Typically,
where's the data to support
I
what
will
you
pull it
just
up
said?
right now.
That
Hold
black men
on.
are not
You're
marrying
the
black
least
women.
likely to get married of all the races. That's what I
But
am
being the
saying.
least likely to, there's a difference between causation and correlation. Being the least likely to get married doesn't mean that you don't have a wife to get divorced by. It just means that you're the least likely to get married. But out of the ones that do get married, they still get divorced. So your argument's null
So
and void. It
out
doesn't
of
make
the
sense.
ones that get married, the small percentage of men that do actually marry women,
What do you mean? More than 60% of single black men get married?
that she asked me what my experience was anecdotally and also looking at the data, and I'm telling her that the data shows that Black men are the least likely to get married of any race. So that brings down the percentage of me even seeing a wife come forward. That's the first thing. The second thing I said was, okay,
which doesn't make sense is what I'm saying.
for the people that do get married, no, I do not typically see an estranged wife just come out the blue and be like, I'm taking it all. Does
But
it
where's the
happen?
data?
Of course it happens.
You just
It
said
What you
the
happens to
typically
it
see is the
happened
data.
Too many mics.
it
Too many mics.
happened
Hold on,
to
y'all.
me, but
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
it wasn't with a woman, it was with a man. Okay,
Is there
so
data?
yes, I'm gonna pull up the data.
But-
What data do
You're
you
talking about
want?
anecdotal experiences now, and you were the one who was adamant about data.
No,
So
no, no,
for you to
no.
continue to make these anecdotal
I'm
statements with no
offering
data
both.
is kind of contradictory.
I'm
Either you're
offering
going to present
both.
data or you're going to rest your argument.
I'm offering both.